Last time on Nerds on Tap, Chris detailed how awesome and rad he was in high school. Jim tries to bring awareness to the plight of breast cancer, and Joseph likes turtles. Will there continue to be weird, awkward silence? Will Chris edit them out so you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about? Will the spirit of Xandor let the power crystal heal the people of Xanthor? Is most of this stuff totally made us? Fuck this shit. Find out on Nerds on Tap!
Why don't you get me fresh beer? You serious?
God damn it. You made me start another episode where I'm crying again, and I just look like a giant pussy. But it's because I'm laughing, because Jim's so ridiculous. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Nerds on Tap. We're starting part 2 of episode 2, or as Jim likes to say, part B of episode 2, because he likes letters more than numbers.
I do.
Yeah, see? Easy to understand. So in this episode, we're going to talk about we're going into our Nerdocalypse, where we've got our 2 characters that are going to battle out in a battle to the finish. And I'm going to use the word battle more in every sentence. And those characters are, wait for it. Darth Vader versus the Shredder. And I'm going to edit that, and it's going to sound really cool. So,
Darth Vader versus the Shredder. You win.
I'll take your word for it.
I trust you.
Yeah.
It'll be cool, I promise.
I don't doubt you. I
promise. So that's what I'm going to do instead of doing work tomorrow.
Perfect.
Because
I'm gonna send this to your boss.
Well, I have my own office, so I get to shut my door, and then nobody knows what I'm doing, except the people that are probably watching my computer somewhere, like in the basement of the building, and probably making little tally marks on some sort of paper against all the violations that I make.
Or jerking
So that
off
someday
to our
I get
sexy
fired.
faces.
Yes. Actually, I put a USB drive into my computer earlier because I've been doing all of our editing on my computer at work. And I put this USB drive in to try to pull everything off. And all these goddamn warnings started going off on my screen. And it's like violation. And all the boxes are red. And there's lots of exclamation points. And I'm like, holy crap, this is scary. But then I pulled it out.
Down from the ceiling.
Yeah. And then I took it out. And they went away. And then I forgot that it happened until now.
It's like crabs.
And I haven't gotten fired yet. So I think I'm good. But then I outsmarted it and just put in a DVD and burned all the files to a DVD. And that works.
Take it. Chris will always find a work around. So we're good.
That's what my high school professors said about me.
Both the reach around or the work around?
Both.
Hmm.
They don't have professors in high school. I don't know why I said that. Or do they?
Because you're trying to make a joke
Do
and it failed.
I know. Man, this is number 4.
What is it?
Yep.
Show us.
So I should probably explain from episode 1. We're going in. Fuck. So this is part 2 of episode 2, which is really confusing to say after you've had 3 beers already. So anyway, we already started drinking in part 1. So that carries over into this episode. So in case you didn't see part 1, and you should, and if you haven't, you suck. But we're still friends. So right now I'm drinking Lake Superior Sir Duluth Oatmeal Stout. It's brewed locally here, and it's delicious. And it doesn't actually have oatmeal in it, because if it did, I'd have some stuck between my teeth, because that's usually what happens. So, but it's still good.
I like
The
I like
drinking
that one.
sound.
the Lake Superior Brewing just hands him a bag of money, like from off the side.
I have beer
I have-
soaking through my mustache right now. I can save it for later.
I have the last beer of that Mexican sampler. Soul.
I've never heard of that, and it looks like something that should be made up.
It's just,
So
it looks like urine. Tastes pretty good though.
It does look,
most Mexican beer does, but it's really good.
it does look like urine, but as long as it tastes good. I'm drinking
Unless it is urine.
maybe. Drinking Belgian style white ale from Community, also
Yes.
Whitbier.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I've had that one before. It's great.
It is. It's really good. It's a lot better than the other one.
Belgian style is probably my favorite beer, honestly, if I'm being honest, which I'm not ever. But that was honest, but it wasn't.
Are you having a stroke right now? Do we have to call the authorities?
I have them on a daily basis. I
No,
don't.
that's a
that
bowel
was lie,
movement.
but I was being honest. But that's a lie. It's just, you know what? We better move on. This is gonna keep happening. I'm gonna I can't even talk now.
We're almost 10 minutes in and we haven't even...
I'm gonna get just as stupid as I was in the last episode. By the end of the first episode, I was dumb as shit, and
You were in the beginning too, Chris.
and I am now. Yeah, so that was fun to watch afterwards. So let's get into our topic, which is Darth Vader versus the Shredder. Now that it's been 20 goddamn minutes later. So I know that Jim likes to set up how this would even happen. So how would Darth Vader even come in contact with the Shredder? Somebody take it and go.
It would have to be something to do with Krang, Dimension X, and the portal going one way or another. So Shredder would be the one who crossed over into the Star Wars universe.
I'm sure it'd be Bebop and Rocksteady's fault. They'd fuck something up with like a. they meant to
something
go
up.
somewhere and they messed. Oh, the boss wants to go, and they messed something up, and then they end up in the Star Wars universe because they're fucking stupid.
That's why you don't let henchmen mess with technology.
Yeah.
You know what? That would actually make a really kick-ass crossover for a comic line. Would be like the cosmic side of Ninja Turtles crossing over into Star Wars. That'd be ridiculous.
I mean, they had a lot of aliens and stuff
Yeah.
in that series.
The
so.
neutrinos and the Triceraton or whatever they
Yep.
were.
Yeah.
And they had the rock guys too. That I can't remember their names, but they're just basically giant rocks with like army helmets.
Yeah, like
rock
the
soldiers. Yeah.
rock soldiers.
That makes a
yes,
lot of
yep.
sense. Those rock guys with
Yeah,
army
those rock
helmets.
guys
What
who
are
are
they called?
soldiers of some sort. Rock soldiers.
We did it.
Did it. That's the end of the episode. Thanks for listening.
just imagine one of them drawing that, and the other one, we're gonna call this rock soldiers, and they just high five each other. We're done for the night.
That sounds like something that Ben Affleck and Matt Damon might have done in the 90s.
We did it. He's a
Ro-
janitor.
Goodwill Hunting versus rock soldiers.
Oh, shit. I'm gonna bring this up and then get right back on our topic, but I just thought of it and I heard it the other day that they're going to do, since they announced a crossover between Spider-Man and Attack on Titan, they're also talking about a crossover between Star Wars and Guardians of the Galaxy. New Hope era of Star Wars and Guardian of the the one with
Guardians
the tree
of
and
the
the
Galaxy.
raccoon.
That fucking movie.
So anyway, which is kind of weird. I'm not
No.
sure how I feel about it. So
No,
eh.
I don't like it.
Back on topic.
Star
Darth
Wars is a weird thing to cross over within a universe. This one included the Turtleverse with the whole Star Wars universe. Let's say Shredder did come into that universe. What would be his first actions? What would he do? Would he be alone?
If Shredder crossed over into Star Wars,
Yeah. Or would the henchmen come? Would Bebop and Rocksteady come with him, or would he
the
be
first
alone?
thing he would do is probably reprimand and beat Rocksteady and Bebop, because even if it wasn't their fault, it would probably be their fault. And then he would look for turtles. And that's my guess. I think that's exactly what he would do first, is look for the turtles. And they wouldn't actually be there because they didn't show up with him.
I can't really think of anything that looks like a turtle from the Star Wars universe.
Maybe
Nothing.
Bosk, the one bounty hunter, is kind of reptilian-like,
Yeah,
but yeah,
he's
that's a
lizard-like.
stretch.
Right.
It's like a big lizard.
If he,
Greedo's green.
but he's
Yeah.
also dead. Yeah, but a Rhodian in general. Yeah.
Fucking Greedo. You know, that guy had a shitty life before he got killed too. Like, he probably got picked on in school.
No, dude, like working for Jabba's gotta fucking suck.
And then he's like, man, you know, everything is, you know, he's got a wife who's pregnant and he just lost his job. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to catch Han Solo and things are going to start looking up. And then he gets shot first.
Yep. Always first.
His head explodes. So I think the one clear advantage that Darth Vader would have once they met would be the lightsaber versus like any kind of weaponry that Shredder would have.
I always
Obviously,
said the Force.
Yeah, I think the Force would
or
be
the
his,
Force, yeah,
his
Well, I mean,
huge.
mystical ninja type stuff too. I mean, what is that? I mean, if we're talking about two different universes colliding, would those be like on the same level? Do you think? I mean, we're talking about, again, like I mentioned the lad, they're kind of like you know, both kind of samurai-esque kind of things.
You know, I do have to bring up though, if Shredder came over wearing his super fancy outfit, which is pretty much all made of metal, and Darth Vader's just like, oh shit, well, you know, if I'm on the dark side of the Force, I might be able to make lightning. You just like burn the shit out of him. Of course, I don't think he ever used that though. It was just the Emperor Palpatine that used the lightning, wasn't it? I don't think anyone else really did it.
Yeah, it's.
So he might not be at that level where he can do that.
I mean, I think
His
he
secret
can.
apprentice could, I guess.
Yeah. Oh yeah, true.
Crashdown?
Star Killer.
Yeah, yeah. Crash down.
Yeah,
Should be Casey Jones.
but I don't know. What if he would sense the darkness in Shredder and try to sway him to the dark side? I mean, that's more of a Palpatine thing, but I don't know. Vader
I
might
could
be.
see it.
Vader might try that.
I can see that because, yeah, I think if they did pull him to the dark side, he'd be a good ally for them to have. He's powerful. He's influential, obviously, because he's got a crap ton of followers in the Foot Clan. He's able to make all these crazy. Well, I don't know if you could call them super soldiers because Bebop and Rocksteady are idiots. But they're super strong.
Yeah.
So obviously
That is dumb as shit.
he has some idea of what he's doing. So I could see that being kind of appealing.
I wouldn't say that. He basically just takes one animal and a person and fucking smashes them together, pours shit on them. That's not really knowing what you're doing.
Just-
Whatever. Put these two things together.
Oh my god. Didn't that happen in the first Pokemon game for Game Boy? When you met Bill, he was fused with another Pokemon and he was like a crazy hybrid Bill. Is Shredder in Pokemon?
I've never played Pokemon.
So that's it for the episode.
This will be the
Next
last
week
one.
it'll just be me and Joseph.
Yeah, right. I'm leaving. Fuck.
Yeah.
That's the stinger right there. Was Shredder in Pokemon? Dun dun dun.
Yeah, you're right. Well, and he also made Toka and Razor, which were even stupider.
What was the
They were
fucking point
babies.
of those two? Like,
There was no
what the shit? Like, when you were a kid, weren't you pissed off that wasn't Bebop and Rocksteady? Like,
Yeah, I didn't
what sense
understand.
does that make?
So I was trying to. I think I read about this sometime in the last year, and in the original script, it was Bebop and Rocksteady, and I don't remember what happened, but it did get changed. I'm sure it had something to do with some kind of copyright that the movie studio didn't formally get or something. So I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, it was stupid not to like figure that out ahead of time and get those two in because they're like the staple almost, besides the Turtles, of that entire thing because everybody loves Bebop and Rocksteady when you're a kid.
This is a pause, and I'm really sorry, but I really got to pee again. So hold on.
Every time.
I know, man. I'm sorry.
Fuck. So, Joseph, Bebop
Mhm.
and Rocksteady, we'll have a discussion here.
Okay.
So, if there was a movie, think about who you would want to play Bebop and Rocksteady. And I did an article on this a while back, and I picked mine. And you probably know who Aaron Paul is, right? From Breaking Bad.
Right.
Do you watch Breaking Bad?
Yeah, I've seen
So
it.
I picked him to be Rocksteady.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You don't think he is too small of stature? Like, I don't know if his voice is demanding enough.
I don't think so, because I guess I don't remember in the comics. I think he was like this in the comics too, but I know in the cartoon, before he got mutated, he was a short, scrawny, like punk kid wearing like camo stuff, and he reminded me almost of like Eminem. Like he was just a little douchebag. I think he could do the voice. I mean, obviously they would probably do some vocal enhancements. But then my pick for Bebop was Tyler Labine. I don't know if you know who he is. Oh shit. The fat guy from Tucker and Dale.
Oh, okay. Yes.
He was my pick for Bebop. Him
totally
and Aaron
makes
Paul
sense.
as Bebop and Rocksteady would be ridiculous.
Yeah, and
Be so
Crash
much
Down
fun.
as Casey Jones.
Yes.
Who is Casey?
What is his actual name? Sam Witwer?
Yeah,
What else?
he's in the American version of
Being Human.
Yes.
He plays Aiden. Or have you watched Battlestar Galactica, the remake?
Mm-mm.
God.
Well, that's our show, everyone. Next time it's gonna just be Chris and me because Joe's
Okay.
an idiot.
The Force Unleashed video games from Star Wars. Have you seen those?
Yep.
Okay, the guy that Darth Vader's
Starkiller.
apprentice is based on, that's Sam Witwer.
Yeah.
And that's who we see as playing Casey Jones.
Okay. I can see that. Do you think longer hair?
Yeah, he could do it. I think he could do it either way. I think, in a way, if he had longer hair, he would actually kind of look like the guy that originally played him.
Who is amazing, by the way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Elias
Totus.
Cotus? Yeah.
I saw him in The Killing, and I didn't realize it was him until later. And he still looks pretty much the same,
Yeah.
except he doesn't have the long hair.
Back to the actual fight. Let's suppose too that Shredder has the Foot Clan with him, because
Okay.
let's say the entire Technodrome is now in space.
Ooh, Technodrome
Yeah.
versus like Death Star.
What planet would it be on?
Oh shit!
Tatooine or Hoth.
Because they're
Those are
the
the two
only
easiest
that
ones.
exist.
Right?
Haven't been blown up yet.
Alderaan. Wait,
Oh.
Oh, too soon.
all the wrong places.
Oh.
Oh god.
All right. So we'll say Tatooine just because that's a easy place to put anything. And all the foot soldiers are there. Is Krang there also?
I think Krang would have to be involved somehow, because he's like the big bad, intergalactical figure of Ninja Turtles.
That's a word, Chris.
It is now.
Intergalactical.
It's I'm gonna put it in Webster's later. I hacked.
There's some dumb fucking words in the Webster dictionary now.
If
so.
they can have bootylicious, they can have intergalactic.
So he's
Properties of being intergalactic.
So-
so he's the Palpatine to
He's Shredder's Palpatine.
yeah, Shredder's Palpatine basically.
Awesome. I like
Except without the wisdom and just judging him constantly.
it.
Well, it's like, okay, well, here's another thing. We're talking right now, we're kind of outlining, it's definitely the original animated Shredder who was kind of a moron. What if it was like a different Shredder? What if it was,
Okay.
like either the 2003 Shredder or like the current Shredder who's actually less of a moron? Like, are we going to stick with the original animated Shredder, I guess?
If we stuck with the original animated Shredder, he'd be dead in 5 minutes. So no.
Seriously, he wouldn't last at all. Guy's a moron.
Yeah, current Shredder, comic book Shredder even is very much like current Shredder. He is a ninja master. He does plan ahead, and he's not a complete moron. So
he's a planner. Yeah.
Right. To go against, he is a mastermind of things. To go against Darth Vader, he would need to be all of those things to even stand a chance.
So, since Shredder's a mastermind, what do we think about Darth Vader? How smart do we think that Vader actually is? He's got to have some level of intelligence to him to be where he is. Besides, well, I guess he could have gotten there being an idiot because he was played by, what's his face?
Yeah, and that's kind of hard because I feel like there's a disconnect between Hayden Christensen and the Darth Vader that we kind of grew up with. Like, I don't feel like that's the same person.
Yeah,
it's not. I think you're right because I don't know. Well, I guess that's the conundrum is we don't really know how smart he really is because they never really played into that. Vader's only been really a puppet of the Emperor the entire time, aside from the one time that he rebelled against the Emperor, and that's the only time he really showed any kind of like thought or free will. Otherwise, I think he got pretty much everywhere he is based on like the amount of power that he has, because he was just the strongest wielder of the Force at the time, and that was pretty much what launched him into where he is.
He seems smarter in the beginning of New Hope, and I suppose he really was the one that kind of sprung the trap on Cloud City too. So
that's true.
Maybe he is smarter than we kind of think for some reason.
Yeah, it could be.
I guess you have to wonder though if those were the Emperor's ideas implanted into his head, or just the Emperor's plans in the first place, and he was just he just carried them out.
Yeah, maybe it might have been like Emperor said, we need to get Skywalker, and then maybe he came up with the details of it. I mean, we don't know. So,
or he was like, which one?
Well, he can't pull the "I am your father" on Shredder, so that's a piece of his arsenal that's gone already.
That's
so
true,
what's he got?
Because that was the big thing that threw Luke off.
Rokozaki, I am your stepfather.
Yes. It turns out that Darth Vader is actually his stepfather. Not his father, but his stepfather.
Yeah.
He visited his mom on weekends.
It's a dimensional thing.
Let's say he cuts one of Shredder's hands off. Then one of Shredder's only 2 weapons are gone.
He's got shoulder things.
I feel like if you cut Shredder's hand off, he's just gonna get fucking pissed. He's just gonna be like, screw this, and just dump mutagen on himself and just
become Super Shredder.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
If he was Super Shredder,
then how
would Darth Vader fare against him?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, takes off like one of his arms or takes off his legs or something, and then Shredder uses the mutagen for its regenerative capabilities and regrows that shit, turns Super Shredder, and then
becomes more powerful than you can ever imagine.
And then he becomes Kevin Nash.
Does a jackknife power bomb on Vader.
Power bombs Darth Vader.
Then refers to himself as Big Daddy Cool. Takes over as the new Sith, Darth Big Daddy Cool.
NWO.
Fucking Scott Hall walks in and throws a toothpick at Darth Vader. Okay, if this is gonna happen, I just need to know. Somewhere in the background is Vanilla Ice rapping about some sort of like, he's got like a space rap ninja thing going on where he just blends everything together.
Ninjas in space.
Ninjas in space baby.
Yeah. Space baby.
All right, I think we can continue now.
I want to talk about Vanilla Ice some more, and how he's renovating houses now.
Oh,
Dude, Chris,
this is the most ridiculous TV show ever.
In I think in the early 2000s, Chris or Joseph, did you know that he tried to do the rap rock thing? Did you know that?
No.
He like cultivated a band and tried to capitalize on the goatee metal rap scene, and he actually did a cover of Ice Ice Baby called Too Cold. And it's like, it's like a band. You gotta look it up. It's so funny.
This is what our new theme song is.
during like the breakdown between verses, he's like, "You be talking that shit. You be talking that shit. You be talking." It's like all hardcore goatee metal rap. It's so funny.
Oh my god.
Too cold, too cold.
Could you imagine Vanilla Ice in like Linkin Park? How
That's basically what he was trying
hilarious
to
would
do.
that be?
It's basically what he was trying to do. Was be Linkin Park.
Actually,
Yeah.
we saw him do the turtle rap or turtle whatever at Alamo City Comic Con here in Texas. He was
Nice.
here, yeah, and we got to see him do that. We went to went to his show that was directly after a comic convention, and it was pretty fun. Like, of course, all he has is that really, and just throwing water everywhere. But it was entertaining for what it was.
Was he waxing chumps like a candle? Or did he rock a mic like a vandal?
All of the above, Chris.
Good.
As
Did
always.
he rock a horror daily and nightly? Did he ever stop? Or do you not know?
Well, we had to walk out, so I'm not sure when he stopped or if he stopped.
When you turned out the lights, did he glow? We know way too many lyrics of that
We're
song.
stupid. Why do we know this? This is ridiculous.
Because we're white.
God,
That's why.
the 90s
Because we're
sucked.
fucking white.
Um,
Because we're white and I own Zubas. That's why.
You do own Subas. Those are coming back too because there's a store at the mall up here that has tons of them on display all the time. I don't know why. I don't
They're
understand.
from
it.
Minnesota, man. They're from Minnesota.
We're a little behind. We're a little behind everything.
What's a Zuba?
Um,
What's a Zuba?
What?
Oh shit. Jim,
So
I'm gonna
they're,
let you take point on this.
So Zubas were their pants. So if I know for a while the only Zubas you could get, I think, were the NFL style ones.
Yep.
But basically, if you ever saw someone wearing brightly colored zebra print, like bright neon, like yellow or
Sweatpants.
purple, like sweatpants, those were probably Zubas.
Zubas, all right. I never knew.
So Shredder and Darth Vader. My God.
We keep getting sidetracked.
It's
This is
kinda-
amazing.
It's kind of hard to draw out that one only because the only way I could really see Shredder doing anything in this situation would be if he just threw foot soldiers at Vader.
So he's gotta like battle through them.
Yeah, well, yeah, just a fastball special them at him. No, just like just send waves of them at Shredder so that he would at Vader and then distract him so that he could get some kind of I don't know, shred in his back or something like that. Like as a ninja, he's dishonorable, so he would do whatever it takes to claim victory. I could see Shredder with a lightsaber. That would be pretty badass.
Oh man.
He would try to, he would try to disarm him immediately and use that thing.
All right, just a crazy thought. What do you think of Shredder with instead of the claws coming off? What if it's like two little lightsabers coming off both fists? How awesome would that be?
Or terrible. I don't know.
My God, that'd be crazy. I'd be okay with it.
Let's say, okay,
J.J. Abrams, take note.
let's say Shredder unknowingly has like a metal. His metal is resistant to lightsaber for whatever, just because from our universe, that's like cortosis in their universe. So it's lightsaber resistant. So he has that going for him. And I guess in a way, force resistant as well. So he's not. So we couldn't just be like, oh, he's just going to immediately use the force and choke him out. Like it comes down to like brute force versus brute force. And at that point, I think Shredder's ninja skills would really come in handy because Vader doesn't really have that training.
I think you're right because Vader, though obviously we've seen Vader fight and he's good with a lightsaber. I mean, Shredder's trained classically as a ninja expert, so I think he would definitely fare better in hand-to-hand combat than Darth Vader would if it came down to it.
Mm-hmm.
Darth
by
Vader
far.
is got to be pretty slow now. I mean, we're talking,
He's old as shit.
in the suit. He's old. He's got most of his limbs are gone.
Yep.
Oh
He
yeah,
doesn't move fast.
he's
anymore.
half computer. I mean, he's
Yeah.
robot. So if there's like a Windows update that his body's got to do, like he's
Right in the
fucked.
middle of battle, he's got to restart because his update's finished.
Gosh,
She had
shit.
a fatal error. The FAT32 file couldn't be found.
Blue
So his
screen.
left arm doesn't work.
Blue screen
And
of death.
that's basically a giant life support system. So
It
yeah,
really is.
If he could compromise that, he's done.
Just takes off his little like asthma mask, and then dude is finished.
Right, even Shredder without armor is still a competent fighter, but Vader without armor is just a
Is a vegetable.
yeah.
Vader without
He's
armor.
He's a coma.
Vader without armor is Wilford Brimley
Oh,
talking about his diabetes.
pretty much.
He would just be sad.
He's
You would
quadriplegic.
feel bad for
He's
him.
just there.
Lieutenant Dan.
Want to give him sugar candies.
Mm.
Try to brighten his day. Yeah.
So I guess what do we think coming down to it? Who would have this battle?
I think it really depends if Shredder was susceptible, that word, the one that I just said, to the Force, then I think hands down Vader would win because it would be an easy, dead.
You wouldn't even be able to get close, yeah.
Right. But if Shredder was not susceptible to the Force, like if his armor was Force resistant, then I think Shredder would have it. Oh, it's kind of hard to say.
Yeah. Well, also force resistance comes from just pure will as well. So let's say Shredder, being as stubborn as he is, has the will of like a hut or something. Then right there, he's going to be resistant to the force. Like he can't be swayed and maybe not even choked. I don't know what the extreme of that is. So it really comes down to like, what is Shredder's resistance to what Vader can throw at him? And if it's enough to where he can surpass it, then I think he would win. But if not, then Shredder could just easily choke him out in a second.
In that case, I would say that Shredder could probably win because obviously Shredder has some willpower. He's been going after the same goddamn turtles for 20-something years, and they don't even have that long of a lifespan anyway. Because I had a turtle.
Just to get to a giant rat.
Yeah, just to get to a rat.
Yep.
I mean, that's ridiculous. So I say Shredder wins.
There you go.
Yeah, I feel like if he could fight through, even if at first he wasn't resistant to the Force, if he could fight through it and become resistant, then yeah, I feel like that's something he could do. Like, I just imagine Vader choking him and Shredder just having the will enough to just be like fuck this. Well, he's up there and he's being choked and he kind of fights his way out of it, kind of a thing.
I guess also with the assistance of the Foot Clan distracting him, Vader's powers won't be 100% because he's having to split them different ways. We all know stormtroopers are terrible shots, so the Foot Clan doesn't have anything to worry about.
Oh my god.
Yeah, stormtroopers versus Foot Clan, it's going to be the Foot Clan.
Oh,
100%.
easily.
It's hilarious how bad a shot's the. Somebody. I wish I could remember I can never remember anything when I bring up these stories, so you'll get used to that. But I remember seeing something somewhere where somebody actually, through all the movies, they counted every time a stormtrooper shot and didn't hit something, and they came up with the probability of a stormtrooper actually shooting somebody, and it was like 0.0 something accuracy, like just ridiculous. Like I could shoot something behind me and be completely like deaf, dumb, blind, have no senses. I could be completely vegetable, somehow still fire a gun and shoot something before a stormtrooper would.
Nice.
There's a big theory though too of every time we've seen stormtroopers firing at someone, they were actually ordered to make it appear like they were resisting, but they actually were letting them go for other plans. Like when I forget which one, because I can't picture right now because I'm kind of drunk. But like when they let Han Solo go off the Death Star and they put the homing beacon on him because they were tracking him to get to the base. Like they would let him go so that they could track him, but make it seem like they weren't being followed.
Scare you.
So they actually are super accurate, but they're being inaccurate on purpose. Yeah.
I guess it all comes down to Jango Fett. It comes down to if he was a good shot or not.
That's where the genes started. Yeah.
Because
I mean,
if he was a bad shot, then they're all bad shots.
by the time we got to New Hope, there obviously were recruits that weren't clones anymore, but I'm sure the clones were still training everybody, kind of
Which
thing.
you can see
I
from
hope
the
they-
new trailer that they're not clones anymore.
Right, and even in the first one, the two that are talking while Obi-Wan Kenobi were taking down the tractor beam, they're having a conversation like two independent people, and there's deleted scenes where it was the academy that Luke is talking about actually is the Empire, and then his friends. The fact is, his friends are actually like defecting to the Rebel cause, because there's no like official like, oh, I'm gonna send paperwork to the Rebel Academy and then not get visited by stormtroopers the next day, kind of. I
just heard about this actually today. I was listening to another podcast, which I don't do.
Don't do that.
Shame on you.
But in that thing that I wasn't doing, they were talking about how Luke was actually trying to go to the academy that was the Empire. So Luke would have potentially been a stormtrooper or a TIE fighter pilot, which would have been crazy.
There's a deleted scene where Biggs comes back, and Biggs is the one that tells him, no, we're all defecting to the Rebel cause. Fuck the Empire.
It's a trap.
Yeah, it's a trap. So.
Did you guys ever play the TIE Fighter game? Like for Windows?
No, I know you can get it now for cheap on good old games and get it all remastered and stuff like that. They released like you didn't know that, Joseph?
No, I didn't.
They were just recently re-released X-Wing and TIE Fighter, so you can go and for $10 you can download it and play it on your computer right now.
I had a friend that played that religiously, so I've seen everything there is to see, but I just haven't played it myself.
Well, I need to play it again and drive drunk as a TIE Fighter pilot. I've just always liked the TIE Fighter pilot suits. Like, those are just fucking cool. Like, black stormtrooper suits, basically.
Yeah, if I ever did those kind of like being like the 501st, I would either do that or biker trooper for sure.
Yeah, the scout troopers are badass.
Yeah, scout troopers are awesome.
I have an interesting tidbit. If no one knows it, and it's down here. No, my interesting tidbit is that originally all the rebels were not. You know how they are like red 2, red. Red 3, stuff like that. So they were blue, and the ships that they were running had the blue marks on them instead of red, but it was messing up with the green and blue screens that they were using to do the special effects. So they had to change it to red because that was the only color that wasn't getting screwed up. So then they changed everything to, instead of having different squadrons where there was like a red and a blue and something else, everything was red and then assigned different numbers.
Is that why like the X-Wings that are in the new one have kind of like blue stripes on them and shit? Or in the trailer? Yeah.
Later they did like Blue Squadron is B-Wings and the yellow ones are Y-Wings and yeah.
Yeah, from what I understand, they still kept all the other colors and stuff in the expanded universe. And that's the reason that they did it in the new movie, because now they have the technology to do that. So they're like, okay, let's go back to this. So
fuck, that makes me want to play some X-Wing miniature. Like, I've been wanting to play that for a little while.
I haven't played it in a while, and I got a ship waiting for me at my local game store, and I haven't played it in a while. It's awesome, Chris. Seriously.
What'd you get, Jim?
I got the Dash Wendar, the
white 2400, something like that. Yeah.
Yep.
I want to get that new that big TIE fighter, or that big like TIE tank looking thing, whatever it is. I don't know. Whatever the new Empire ship is.
The Decimator?
Yeah, I think so.
I just
like, guess who?
I just spilled my beer, so I should clean it up.
I'm
talking about X-Wing more.
Still wearing part of my beer from the first part of this episode.
In your beard or on your shirt?
Everywhere. Shit. All right. I think that pretty much wraps that up. So that is the end of part 2 of episode 2, which is really hard to say when you have had 5 beers.
Dude.
God. Anyway, if I can get through the rest of this. I'm Chris.
I'm Jim.
I'm Joseph.
And have a good night, everybody. Cheers, nerds.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Thanks for watching / listening.
Shredder all the way.
This was Nerds on Tap. If you like what you saw or heard, make sure you follow us on that Twitter thing that all the kids are talking about, at nerds_on_tap. And don't actually write the word underscore. That's not how Twitter works. And of course, we are on that Facebook thing, facebook.com/nerdsontap podcast. Thanks for listening. Nerds on Tap is part of the BS Excluded Network and the Slurred Nerd blog on Tumblr.